Okay, today's story. So in Zalman's Duchman book here, there's a whole section he devotes to the events that led. Something else. I'm just saying events that led, and he was present at the Fabrengen by the previous Rebbe, the Frierdiker Rebbe, 1927, that led to his arrest. I mean, as recorded and many books written on it already. But here's the story I want to share that, if I'm not mistaken, the Rebbe referred to it in the Fabrengen. And here's the story. It's a Yutes Kislev Fabrengen, 1924-1925. He describes how the table was standing near the dining room door. On the Rebbe's left side, the Rebbe referring to the Frierdiker Rebbe, the previous Rebbe, so on his left side stood the one designated to become the Rebbe's son-in-law. The Gaon, and he says his name, that's referring to our Rebbe. And on the other side of the Frierdiker Rebbe stood his brother, Rabbi Aryeh Leib was on the other side. As you all know, Berel did too. He passed away in Israel in the early 50s. Okay, so he's watching this scene. Zalman Duchman is seeing the Frierdiker Rebbe flanked by our Rebbe and his brother. The Frierdiker Rebbe said to them, how regretful you should be that my father did not see you. And it's interesting, he didn't say you didn't see my father. My father didn't see you. That's already noteworthy. That's very noteworthy. Because we look. But the Rebbe sees you. It's bracha, and it's more than bracha. Many stories about this. When in the early years, when people came for a bracha, the Rebbe asked, did the Rebbe see this person? And it's going to be good. That's the way he would channel his blessing if he was seen by the Frierdiker Rebbe. Back to the story here. So he's saying, Tzrachmanis on you, how regretful that you're not seen by my father. Now Zalman Duchman says, it bothered me. How could their father, Rabbi Leivik, the great Kabbalist, Rabbi Yitzchak Yekatinislav, not have brought his special children, the future Rebbe and his brother, to Lubavitch to see the Rebbe Rashab, or to Rostov where he lived? Then he understood. Zalman Duchman understood subsequently years later, because once the Frierdiker Rebbe said that the Baal Shem Tov did not instruct his disciple, Reb Baruch, to bring the Alter Rebbe to him. Alter Rebbe saw him as a child. He is upsharnish. But that's his own initiative, and it didn't instruct. Actually, maybe he did, just for the upsharnish, but not as a disciple. It was a child. Why? Baal Shem Tov said, you don't bring him because he belongs to my disciple, the Maggid. So Rabbi Leivik, so the Duchman is saying, he understood from the Frierdiker Rebbe later, understood later that the Rebbe belongs to the Frierdiker Rebbe. The Rebbe belongs to the previous Rebbe, which is why he never saw the Rebbe Rashab. If I'm not mistaken, the Rebbe referred to this once, and he said he never learned in Lubavitch, he was never in Lubavitch. I think he hinted maybe to this story that he's happy because he's completely the previous Rebbe exclusively. His chassid, which ties into our story yesterday, that the transition from one Rebbe to another is not necessarily an easy thing. It requires a deep bittul. Okay.